Hello everyone. Lucky you. Today you will find out a lot of amazing information about the most enormous ships in the world. Don't forget to push 3 buttons, like, subscribe and bell. Pick up some yummies and enjoy the show. Sea creatures have always been regarded as lions of seas and oceans because according to the scientists there are more than 3.5 trillions of them. However, nowadays the true lions of marine water are vessels because water basins are filled up with more than 20,000 various vessels. Their weight can reach immensely high values, for example, 300,000 tons. But what is the need in such an enormous number of ships? Some of them serve as means of transportation for people or for goods delivery. Other ships such as liners are known all over the world as you can spend vacation or celebrate New Year in the immensely outstanding way there and simultaneously visit the great variety of countries. Vessels cruise along coastlines of Europe, Asia, Caribbean islands, South America and others. So, what is your dream destination? And the ship of which size would you prefer? Would it be a tiny fishing boat or a huge cruise liner? Actually, today we will discuss top 10 of the most giant vessels in the world. We are not interested in boats which are not famous for their great sizes. So, fasten your seatbelt and let's go. USS Enterprise, CVN-65. This ship looks like a tiny airport and it is partly true. This United States Navy aircraft carrier serves as the landing zone for jet planes. The average length of airstrip in the modern civil airport is about 3,500 meters while the length of the whole USS Enterprise is 342 meters. Moreover, a common model of civil aircraft flies at the speed of about 800 to 900 kilometers per hour. But the speed of jet airliners is many times bigger as it reaches 2,150 kilometers per hour and the maximum rate is over 3,000 kilometers per hour. The difference between the civil facilities and military ones is obvious. Can you imagine how an airplane can manage to land and slow down on such a short distance? It is hardly possible. In fact, scientists and engineers have already taken care of solution of this case and worked out the perfect way of the jet plane's safe landing on the aircraft carrier. Firstly, the success of the operation depends on the pilot's skills and experience because not everyone can cope with such kind of landing. Secondly, all jet planes are equipped with tailhooks which snag arresting wires attached to the flight deck in order to slow down. So, this is how the safe process of aircraft's landing on USS Enterprise flows. You, dear viewer, might think that this vessel floats at really high speeds because it looks powerful. Nevertheless, its average travel speed is about 60 kilometers per hour. The movement of USS Enterprise is provided by the nuclear fuel. One fuel loading in 13 years is necessary for the full functioning of the ship. This fact is really impressive. Just imagine that you could gas up your car once in 10 years and you would not have to stay in long queues at petrol stations. How much time would be saved? Q-Max. This enormous vessel belongs to Qatar and serves as liquefied natural gas, LNG, carrier. The name Q-Max was chosen not accidentally. The letter Q means its owner, Qatar, and the word max stands for the description of this vessel's size. Such types of ships are considered to be the largest LNG carriers in the world. So, the size of this giant is truly impressive as its length reaches 345 meters. Moreover, the vessel is so wide, 55 meters, that it can fit only in Suez Channel, while Panama Channel cannot accommodate it. Only one Q-Max requires the constant work of the whole team consisting of 35 people. I suppose it is quite difficult to imagine what power is able to set this machine in motion. So, Q-Max can move due to the work of 4 powerful engines. But such vessel must be filled up, so its engines could function properly. The engineers of Q-Max solved this problem in the genius way. The ship is filled up with liquefied gas, however, in order to reduce costs it is equipped with reliquefaction system which allows to cut LNG losses and results in the environmental and economic benefits. Can you imagine there is not only one copy of Q-Max in the world but 14 vessels of this model were created? So, all of them are highlighted with unique names such as Mozo, Al-Maida, Makines, Al-Mafyar, Slal, Busamra, Al-Gwaria, Lijmalia, Al-Samaria, Al-Dafna, Shagra, Zarga, Amira, Rashida. Queen Mary 2. I suppose I know what you are thinking about right now. You certainly want to get to know where you can buy tickets on this wonderful cruise liner. Actually, only one ticket can cost you an arm and a leg as on average it is worth $1,200 to $4,850. But at the same time the price is quite reasonable because Queen Mary II is one of the largest cruise liners in the world and the only great vessel holding the honorary status of the Royal Ship Mail. So, what privileges will you get if you become the lucky owner of the ticket on the Queen Mary II? Firstly, you will check in the room. The great variety of apartments of different price categories is available there. So, one can live in outside cabin per $1,500 or in Queen's Grill room per $4,850. Secondly, meals, British afternoon tea and all products of the King Court's buffet are included in the price. And, finally, let's talk about the entertainment on this amazing cruise liner. All issues relating to the recreational activities on the board are pretty confusing. The point is that the price of one's ticket includes the limited choice of pastime, for example, signature shows, lectures, movies, swimming pools and jacuzzis, library. And that is all you can do. That is why it is necessary to have the great amount of money with you in order to comfort yourself and not limit yourself in the choice of activities such as theaters, pubs, bars, restaurants, nightclubs, shops and others. As for the technical features, Queen Mary II is of the same length as Q-Max, 345 meters. Nevertheless, this cruise liner is much higher due to its steam pipe, so its height reaches 72 meters. The size is really impressive, what is confirmed by the fact that 3,000 craftsmen were involved in the building of the ship throughout 8 million working hours and 20,000 designers worked out its exterior and interior. Besides, this cruise liner fits 2,000 people. Let's move forward. MS Ore Brasil. MS Ore Brasil is the enormous ore carrier whose owner is the Brazilian mining company Vale. Also, this ship is considered to be the largest bulk carrier ever built, which sounds really unsurprisingly. Its length is 362 meters and the deadweight tonnage is over 400,000 tons. Actually, the hilarious story is connected with the deadweight of this vessel. Chinese government declared that its ports are too small for such an enormous ship. That is why MS Ore Brasil had to be slimmed down to 380,000 tons deadweight. But, in fact, no changes were introduced to the ship's structure. The novelty was depicted only on paper. That is why it resulted in its incomplete loading reaching only 380,000 tons. Symphony of the Seas. Do you remember one of the largest cruise liners in the world, Queen Mary II? So, here is the largest cruise liner in the world, which is called Symphony of the Seas. I suppose everyone who sets his foot on the board is ready to sing all symphonies of the world because vacation there is the pure happiness. Its length is 362 meters and the capacity is estimated in 6,600 people, which 3 times bigger than the capacity of Queen Mary II. There are 18 decks fitting the enormous aqua park, surfing, bungee, casinos, rock climbing wall, laser tag and the great variety of the other entertainments. The most outrageous places of interest are Rink and the Central Park, which is the real green oasis right in the center of the liner. Surprisingly, despite the number of advantages over Queen Mary II, the cost of the tickets on Symphony of the Seas is quite similar. Thus, the average price is $1,500, but the maximum one is $22,325. This place also can boast its wide choice of cafes and restaurants. For example, your cocktails can be made by the real robots and Bionic Bar. Izumi is the Asian restaurant where practically all dishes are served in raw forms. Sugar Beach, as you can easily guess from its name, is the main provider of all kind of sweets on the board. And, finally, if you are the true fan of Jamie Oliver, you should visit the restaurant called Jamie's Italian, whose owners were inspired by the personality of the great British cooker. P-Class Supertankers. P-Class represents supertankers serving as oil and petroleum carriers. There are only 4 tankers of this class. All of them belong to the company Hellespont Group by Daewoo Shipbuilding AB, Marine Engineering, which initially called them as Hellespont Alhambra, Hellespont Fairfax, Hellespont Metropolis and Hellespont Dara, but then renamed them as D Africa, D Asia, D Europe and D Oceania. This company had to spend $89 million in order to build these tankers. Apart from that, such complicated job required 700,000 man-hours of direct labor. Due to its really great length, 380 meters, and weight, 440,000 tons, T-class supertankers were shown in the Discovery Channel's television show Superships, episode launching a Leviathan, Hellespont Fairfax. Pioneering spirit. Just look at this ship serving as the world's largest vessel by gross tonnage. It looks like the small town on water. 382 meters in length, 123 meters in width, deadweight tonnage is over 443,042 tons and, moreover, this bulky object is the workplace for 571 people. And all of that in total costs 2.6 billion euros. What is more, the Swiss-based Allseas Group, which was involved into designing a pioneering spirit, not slip into complacency. That is why the company plans to build a larger version of this ship called Allseas Amazing Grace in 2022. As you already know, the ship bears the name Pioneering Spirit. But it had a different name which was changed due to the public scandal. Briefly speaking, Peter Herrema, the owner of the vessel, decided to call it in the honor of his father Piet Herschel Herrema, who was the Nazi soldier of Waffen-SS and later was recognized as the criminal and sentenced to 3 years in prison. The chosen name of the ship outraged the society, especially English and Dutch Jews, and Peter Herrema had to change the title. Hey, we are getting closer to our finalists, so keep your eyes open. CSCL Globe. The first finalist is CSCL Globe. It is the longest container ship in the world, whose width reaches 400 meters and the area of its upper deck is comparable with the square of 4 football fields. CSCL Globe could rightfully become the enormous trade center, as 19,000 20-foot equivalent containers can be placed on its port. At the time of putting CSCL Globe into operation, it bore the status of the largest container ship in the world, which earlier had belonged to the other vessel, Maersk Mc-Kinney Møller. However, despite the breathtaking size of CSCL Globe, it has already lost its status after the appearance of MSC Oscar. This ship fits 19,224 containers, what is larger on 224 pieces, but at the same time its length is less than 400 meters and reaches only 395 meters. Nevis. This ship bore 5 different titles for the whole period of its operation, which lasted over 30 years. So, the names were Sea Wise Giant, Happy Giant, Jar Viking, Nevis, Mont, but the principal one is Nevis. Unfortunately, this vessel has not been operating since 2010 for several reasons. Firstly, 30 years of exploitation is the really long time of functioning for any ship, and its service period came to the end. Secondly, it was sunk during the Iran-Iraq War and then was reconstructed and turned back to the operation. But, anyway, such a heavy damage still influenced on the operational process of the ship. Nevis belongs to the class of a ULCC supertankers whose function is carrying of oil and petroleum. This ship is considered to be the most enormous vessel ever built, especially for the time when it was put into operation in 1976. So, Nevis' length is 458 meters, while the height of the largest New York skyscraper is just 443 meters. The deadweight, which is the largest ever recorded, is 657,019 tons, and its width reaching 68 meters makes it impossible for Nevis to fit in the English Channel, the Suez Canal or the Panama Canal. I don't know how about you guys, but I can't imagine a ship of such an enormous size. But it is not the end of the show. Get ready to be amazed by even larger size of the biggest vessel in the world. Prelude FLNG. 488 meters in length, 78 meters in width, 105 meters in height, capacity scoring 430,000 liters, which is comparable with 175 swimming pools for Olympic competitions, deadweight reaching 300,000 tons, and the price is over $11 billion. That is all about the largest ship in the world, called Prelude FLNG. Prelude FLNG is the floating liquefied natural gas platform producing and offloading LNG to LNG carriers. According to the specialists, the power of this factory allows to extract approximately 4 million tons of oceanic gas and 5 million tons of the other minerals which are necessary for recycling in factories on the ground. Since 2018, the ship has been standing in the Indian Ocean nearby the northwest coast of Australia in order to be involved in works which are carried out in the mine Prelude. The ship will be operating there for 25 years till the end of its exploitation period. Notably, the area where Prelude FLNG is situated right now is notorious for frequent and powerful cyclones. That is why the ship was constructed with the help of systems helping to withstand Category 5 cyclones. So, our show is coming to an end and I hope you enjoyed it. Please, tell us in the comments what ship impressed you more than others and which one would you choose for traveling? Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. See you in the next show.